During a dinner to meet my fiancé's family, I was subjected to humiliation because of my weight. Months passed, and we met again on my wedding day. The expressions on their faces were of disbelief at the transformation that had occurred since then. Get ready to dive into a love story that challenges superficial standards and blossoms, even in the face of the most painful adversities. Hello, my friends. I am Linda, and this is Linda's Love Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. Carolina felt a bit of nervousness as she got ready for the long-anticipated dinner with her fiancé Paul's family. She began to worry about what they might think of her, but she was determined to be authentic, staying true to herself, a laid-back and kind person. Upon arriving at the dinner, she imagined a night full of smiles, lively conversations, and perhaps even a glimpse of the future they awaited together. Paul would often share enthusiastically how his family was good-humoured and welcoming. However, what was supposed to be a happy occasion turned into a moment of discomfort and humiliation. As everyone gathered around the table, the conversations flowed pleasantly, but Carolina sensed a strange atmosphere. Every now and then, some of them exchanged looks and made suspect comments, until a subtle remark hit her squarely. "You eat so well. It seems you liked my food," said Paul's aunt, with a smile hiding a malicious intent. Carolina tried to ignore it, thinking she was being overly sensitive. She considered everyone there so polite and nice, so she thought that maybe the comment wasn't meant to be malicious and was just in her head. After everyone finished eating, Carolina decided to go to the kitchen to offer her help. As she approached the door, she inadvertently overheard an extremely offensive conversation between her mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and one of Paul's aunts. "My God, what happened to Paul? He is so handsome, so healthy. Why did he choose such a fat and careless woman?" Adding with a sarcastic smile, the sister-in-law said, "He must be trying to do a good deed for a fat woman. After all, he always dated beautiful and thin women." The impact of these words struck Carolina like a wave of discouragement as she tried to process the conversation she wasn't supposed to hear. Carolina hesitated to enter the kitchen, as she didn't want to cause further discomfort or embarrassment by being discovered eavesdropping. Feeling deeply hurt, she longed to leave, so she asked Paul if they could go as she wasn't feeling well. Her concerned fiancé assured her that everything would be fine and agreed to leave the place. Upon arriving at the gate of her house, Carolina's tears could no longer be contained. Paul, noticing her distress, asked what had happened, but she hesitated to speak, fearing that it would turn him against his own family. However, faced with Paul's insistence, she eventually revealed what she had overheard in the kitchen. Paul was shocked and deeply ashamed. He apologized profusely to Carolina, expressing his admiration for her. "Carolina, you are wonderful. You know how much I love you. I am sorry for them," he said with sincerity and regret. Unfortunately, Paul's relatives did not understand how difficult the situation was for Carolina. She had been facing a silent battle with her weight, a struggle that made her deeply sad and affected her self-esteem day by day. Paul comforted his fiancée, assuring her that nothing and no one could change what he felt for her. Together, they felt stronger than ever, united in any difficulty they faced. Carolina was one of those radiant souls, a shining light that illuminated the hearts around her. At 31 years old, she had already earned respect and admiration as an exceptionally competent engineer. She had many friends and family who loved her deeply. Paul and Carolina's paths crossed unexpectedly on an ordinary day. Carolina, passionate about running, decided to visit the sports store where Paul worked. Upon entering the establishment, the young woman's beauty and special aura did not go unnoticed by the young man. Immediately, he felt the desire to get to know her better. Taking on the task of serving her, he not only made an effort to provide assistance but also made sure to establish a friendly conversation. Since that fortuitous meeting, a connection began to blossom between them, marked by mutual sympathy and a genuine interest in each other. At the time they met, Carolina radiated health, meticulously taking care of herself and showing a special zeal for her appearance. As the relationship developed, It became evident that destiny had sealed their union. They had a unique partnership, blessed with a serene and harmonious love. Carolina and Paul complemented each other extraordinarily well. A year into their relationship, Carolina's life took a painful turn with the loss of her mother. The blow was overwhelming, leaving her immersed in a difficult-to-bear pain. During this challenging period, Carolina began seeking comfort in food, an attempt to mitigate the intensity of the pain that consumed her. Moreover, she faced constant pressure in her work environment, further exacerbating the emotional burden she carried. What once seemed like a light and happy path turned into a journey of overcoming and resilience. It was at this moment that Paul's support in cheering her up and running became Carolina's refuge, an essential outlet to deal with the anxiety and sorrow life had imposed on her. However, a painful setback emerged when a knee injury interrupted her journey. The need to face surgery and the recovery period brought with it a new emotional weight. Unable to dedicate herself to running, Carolina once again turned to food to vent her frustration, resulting in a significant weight gain. Paul, an unwavering support in her life, remained by her side during these tough times. He constantly reinforced how much he admired her strength and resilience. He did not just express his loyalty, but acted as an exceptional partner, offering the necessary support for Carolina to recover, both physically and emotionally. In every challenge, Paul's comforting presence was a guiding light, reminding Carolina that even in the storms, she was not alone. As proof of his unconditional love, Paul surprised Carolina with a marriage proposal at a time when she felt most vulnerable, battling with her weight and self-esteem. It was on a sunny Sunday morning when the couple decided to take a walk in the park near their home. Paul suddenly stopped, took Carolina's hand, and looked deep into her eyes. With a sigh of emotion, he confessed what had been in his heart for so long: the desire to spend the rest of his life by her side. With a choked voice, he surprised her by kneeling before her and proposing marriage. Despite Carolina's hesitations, fearing she would be a burden in his life, Paul reiterated that none of that mattered. He simply wanted to be by her side, regardless of the circumstances. At the dinner where he introduced her, however, the reaction of those present was quite different. Everyone found Carolina strange and judged her, ignoring Paul's understanding that love goes beyond superficial standards. Knowing about Paul's healthy lifestyle and good looks, the family showed a lack of empathy by not considering the possibility that Carolina might be going through a difficult period. Superficiality prevailed, disregarding Paul's feelings and being excessively critical and rude behind Carolina's back. After that embarrassing incident, Paul's family regretfully kept a noticeable distance from the couple. It seemed as though Carolina's presence was not welcome, as if there was a hesitation to fully accept her as part of the family. This attitude made the couple feel helpless and undervalued. Despite Carolina's attempts to integrate, full acceptance by them always seemed out of reach. Veiled comments and subtle attitudes conveyed a sense of distance and mistrust. The young woman struggled to find her place in a scenario where she constantly felt marginalized. On the other hand, Paul remained by his beloved's side, serving as her protective shield against family tensions. He did his best to create an environment of support and understanding, but often found himself torn between the conflicting interests of his family and the love he felt for Carolina. The love and respect Paul and Carolina had for each other only strengthened in the face of this adversity. Even in the face of family difficulties, they remained united, sharing a bond that resisted external criticism. They then decided to focus on the preparations for the long-awaited day, the day when they could officially declare their love before their loved ones and friends. Although the lack of family support could have been discouraging, Paul and Carolina found solace in each other, confident that together they could overcome any obstacle that came their way. Months passed and the much-anticipated wedding day finally arrived. As the date approached, many assumed that at some point Paul would choose to cancel the ceremony. However, to everyone's surprise, he was more than determined in his decision. The beginning of the celebration was laden with meaning and emotion. When Carolina made her triumphant entrance at the ceremony, a reverent silence enveloped the attendees. What they saw before them left them speechless, as Carolina radiated a beauty and confidence that lit up the entire room. Her eyes shone with determination and love as she walked towards the altar, ready to seal her commitment to Paul in front of everyone. The scene was touching and unforgettable, challenging any doubts or hesitations that might have arisen earlier. At that moment, it became clear to all that the love between Paul and Carolina was genuine and unwavering, and that they were ready to face together the challenges and joys that life had in store for them. The vows exchanged between Paul and Carolina were deeply moving. Carolina sincerely expressed how perfect Paul was for her, how he had helped her to get back on her feet after so many difficulties. Holding hands, the two witnessed the power of mutual support and true partnership. Although Carolina was still overweight, she was committed to pursuing her best form, both internally and externally. After the wedding, Carolina dove back into her training routine and fully committed herself to her transformation journey. With determination and effort, she achieved her goal of losing weight. The family, upon witnessing her dedication and resilience, regretted having judged Carolina by superficial criteria, without understanding the difficult phase she was going through. Regret replaced judgment, as everyone recognized the value of Carolina's true essence and the strength of her love with Paul. Paul and Carolina's story is a powerful testimony to true love and human resilience in the face of adversity. Facing family challenges and superficial criticism, they found strength in each other. Their relationship demonstrates that true value lies in the depth of emotional connection and the willingness to face challenges together. Their journey reminds us that even in the darkest moments, love can guide us to light and true happiness. If you enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with a number from 1 to 5 to let us know how much you liked the story. Also, watch the video that is currently on your screen. See you soon.